Kristen, good morning and thank you.
Morning. If you hear a dog bark, I have four of them, and I will. They're loose cannons. So
Okay,
Awesome. Well,
it was either
fantastic.
that or the screaming banshees in the office. So I chose the dogs.
okay, fair enough. Okay, cool. All right. Well, let's get started, guys. I know how valuable everyone's time is, and for us, when people attend our sessions, we value the time and effort that you put in, and more importantly, that after 60 minutes, you can actually walk away and actually implement something that's going to help you grow your business, provide more freedom, take some weight off your shoulders, take some stress away, and so forth. And we're going to share a whole bunch of ideas today. It's probably outside of the business planning session, the art and science of lead generation to me is probably my most favorite to actually share. We have changed it up a little bit today in regards to the strategies that you should be using for lead generation. And it's going to be a little mix of the traditional and Kristen, what would you call it? I'm not going to call it modern. What are you going to call it? What was the word that you're using?
So if I were to put the slideshow together, I would have called it the art and science of human connection.
Beautifully said. Beautifully said. And I can see
I
Maria.
love that.
Yeah, yeah, love it. And really well done. And I'm just going to do one thing. I haven't been prepared. I didn't put my clicker on for this. So give me a second, team. Go on, Maria. What you love that? What?
Yes, I love it. I love it,
Yeah,
Kristen. It is all about that, isn't it, at the end of the
it
day?
is.
And I
It's
think real
totally
estate.
about. Go
So
for it.
he's asking me to talk, and then he's not letting me to talk. I'm going to hand it back over to you.
No, please go ahead, Maria.
Classic. No, that's all I had to say. I'm just filling time so you can get ready, babe.
Oh, fantastic. Oh, good. Hopefully the clicker works now.
Okay.
Oh,
No,
good.
but in all seriousness, like we're in a people's business, aren't we? We're talking about leads as if they're not people. We talk about databases and data all the time, and behind all that data, there's a human being, and that good old data ownership. Who owns the data? Like I'm sorry, when did the vendors and investors and any actual client lost the opportunity of choosing who they want to work with just
Yeah.
because we've got them in a database? So yeah, 100% agree. Human connection, love it.
All right, let's go. Beautifully said. Okay, the clicker works. First of all, just want to have a big shout out to our industry partners. Guys, to put these sessions together and, of course, to run our Black Salt event at the end of the year is not an easy feat. And we certainly don't do it all by ourselves. Yes, Agency powers it, but we could not do it without the collaboration of our industry partners. And we love every one of them, and we support every single one of them. And we'd love for you guys to show their appreciation. If you need anyone from this list, reach out to our team and they can help you with their business. And we've never looked at our third-party suppliers that help us at Agency as our suppliers. We look at them as our business partners. And if you're running solo operations or you're with anyone that you work with, look at them as your business partners. It totally changes the game and takes you to the next level. So a big shout out to all of them. They all play a significant role in the success of our businesses. All
And
right.
I'm just looking at that Manos, and I can't. There's barely anyone there that we don't use as well or work with. So
Yeah. So yeah, from Collab through to Realty Assist, Moving Hub, Gaslight in the property management. And Maria, I haven't put in the slides, but we're going to talk about property management as well at the end. So the next event that we have for our Victorian members, our Black Salt property management
Yeah, sure.
session. Okay, so let's get straight into it, right? This phrase is probably the most important statement, I should say, that I've heard from an agent, and it was from our very own Joel Hood. You can't sell what you haven't listed, and you can't list what you haven't appraised. I think it deserves a repeat. You can't sell what you haven't listed, and you can't list what you haven't appraised. It is all about that. And I guess in my 20 years of experience in real estate and growing my own personal business with Maria when we were listing and selling, and of course, helping hundreds of agents across not only here on the Mornington Peninsula, but then Victoria, then in every state and territory of Australia, this is the number one statement I hear from just about every single real estate agent who is not able to get their prospecting right, right? And that's the caveat. If you don't get your prospecting right, this is probably a statement that you'll probably say lots of time.
Asterisks or your marketing.
Asterisks or your, I love it, or your marketing. I've got my, I love it. I love it. We should have had those punching gloves on. We should.
Oh dear.
But would you agree, Kristen, the frustrating, I'm just not getting called in position?
Yes. No, I don't feel that. And it's not, I'm not saying it in a funny way or anything like that, but you asked me earlier what our I don't know, how do we get our leads or our appraisals? And I just spoke to Rachel to get her. I don't want to speak on behalf of someone and get it wrong. So I just spoke to Rachel and confirmed that 100% of our leads are inbound. So, and I'll explain a little bit why later. But I can imagine it's very frustrating to not be getting called in.
Oh, 100%. And we've got to look at it. So can you give a 30-second rundown, just so, especially those people that haven't heard of hashtag real estate and obviously the Kristen and Jack's journey, in about 60 seconds, can you talk about when you started and where you are today?
I can. I'm going to use Rachel a lot today as well, because we are established now and she's only been in the industry for a year and a half. So it's quite a good... there's two polar opposite sort of entities working under the hashtag brand. But yeah, Jax and I started 6 years ago, pretty much on the knocker. It was February 2020 lockdown. Won't go into too much detail. Knew no one, had no database, was assigned an area that we'd never even driven through, and had to somehow get started. So, I'm grateful for the fact that lockdown happened, and we did go through it. What looked like an absolute disaster ended up being our biggest savior. Yeah, because had that not have happened, we would have become prospecting agents. But what we did was become marketing agents, because that's really all we could do with limited access to anything and no humans that we already had interactions with. So social media and marketing became our runway. Yep,
100%. And what we want to talk about, the differentiation from traditional prospecting, which is the cold calling, direct mail flyers and so forth. So we'll take a little bit of a deep dive of what marketing is with Kristen a little bit later. But just to differentiate what that actually means. And when Kristen, you're talking about inbound leads, how many would you be getting a month? Like, you're a $1.2 million agency now. You achieved $1 million status in your third or fourth year, correct me if I'm wrong. And you've gone through a big rebirth in your brand a couple of times, and now you've really found your space. But how many leads will be coming into your business now?
Well, I'm just going to give you Rachel's stats.
Yep.
Because I think that's probably more important to most people than ours.
Yep.
But so literally Rachel's done 24 appraisals in the last 6 weeks, and she had 2 of the weeks off with her kids on school holidays. Every single one of them was inbound from either local agent finder, secret homes, which we'll talk about later, past clients, referrals, and any Kristen and Jack's inbounds that are more relevant to her and her core business.
Fantastic. So that's really, sorry, go for it.
No. Ours are very much referral and past clients, or just people that call in. But Jax and I are paring back a little bit on being we're trying to grow the business
Yep.
at the moment.
Cool. Okay, so getting back to this slide, team, the frustrating, I'm just not getting called in position, right? And I'll put the caveat on this. Have you done enough to earn the right to get called in? And you're going to look at two different perspectives today of earning the right to get called in, right? And we're not saying one strategy is better than the other. You need to find your groove. And we always talk about authenticity and personal branding and so forth. This is a live example of just following your groove, what you believe in and so forth, and getting to where you want to get to, right? So the law of thirds. So as everyone knows, I study a lot with regard to where the leads come from. And this is what I've learned in obviously looking at the stats and the data. The law of thirds. Leads come from three different spheres in your business. Number one is established clients. Established clients are not only the ones that you sell for and buyers that have bought from you, it's people that I would consider that you appraised a few years ago and they've become your established clients. They may not have transacted with you yet, but they know you. So established clients, the criteria here is they know you. If you were to ring them, they know who you are, whether you've sold for them before, whether they've bought off you, whether you've met at an open, whether you've done an appraisal for them, right? So established clients. It is huge, right? A third of your business should be coming from established clients. This is the benchmark, right? Then we talk about analog and digital footprint. So there are two types of footprints in your market or your service area. The analog, of course, is your direct mail. It's your for sale boards. It's your pointer boards. It's your flags. It's your car. It's your billboards. The list goes on and on and on. And then, of course, your digital footprint, which is your REA, which is your own personal profile, your social media. Your social media platform, your page should be a database, right? It needs to be a database. And we have a number of our team really work it really hard where they tag every single buyer, every single seller. One of our competitors is doing it now in our local marketplace, and I really loved it. They had the photo of the buyer in front of their sold board, and they've tagged them. Congratulations, XYZ on your purchase. They become part of the database. And a number of our agencies who talk about wanting the inbound, they've designed their business to be inbound, have really focused on looking at their social media as their own personal media company, like their own TV, and with the ability to tag every single person in their service area and obviously in their established clients. And then, of course, there's the referrals. So a third of your business, once you're established, should be coming from referrals. And any agent that's been doing the right thing from day one, it takes 12 to 36 months to really have an even third. When you get to this point, that's when you become an attraction business. Leads follow you, and it becomes so much easier. But you got to put the foundations in first. And of course, if we've got any brand new people in this session today, you're not going to get that many referrals. You're likely not to have that much market presence, and you're not likely to have many established clients. So you got to build it, and you got to get that compounding effect. Okay, so you got to have the habit of delayed gratification and the fortitude and the stamina to be patient, but just do the right work. Okay, anything you'd like to add there, Kristen?
Just funny you should say it. I have on my notes here, social media is our database. So perfect. That's the only form of databasing that we do, is just engaging with our people on socials. Yeah.
And I know our P&G team, when they do their Easter egg hunt, more people, and of course, social media is just that. You need to put your human touch points as well. So.
It's really important, Manos. And shout out to Chloe in our business who started with us a few months or probably 8 or 9 months ago now. She's come in and created hashtags personality and I mean, no one really cares about what you've listed and sold. Yes, you have to put it there because you have to show that you actually are working. But that's not where we get our likes and our feeds and our follows from. You know, everyone knows our team and they haven't met them in person. You know, and that's really important when you have a group of people that work together as well. It's not just about the lead agent whose names and faces on the board. It's really empowering everybody that contributes to it.
Yeah. Kristen, I will put that when you said it's not necessarily the solds and the just listeds. I'll put that in inverted commas. I think personally, we need to be communicating to the message that you should be sending out to your service area and to your established clients is that you are listing and selling.
Absolutely.
And you do have active buyers. So you need that mix. It can't be
100%.
all social. You must be telling them. And what we're finding is most established agents and most of the $1 million agents don't have a bulletproof client engagement regime, but they let their results do the spruiking for them. And you need to be obviously amplifying that in your marketplace and sharing that. Okay, so the frustrating, I'm not getting called in enough, right? So your first exercise, if you have not done this, is to establish how many properties were listed and sold in your core area of suburbs in the last 12 months. So if you're working a particular suburb, right, and, 50 or 100 properties came up last year, how many of those obviously were done? And you got to ask the question, how many did you get to appraise? Does anyone on I'm not sure how many people, we've almost got, how many people have we got on? We've got 87 people. Anyone who's working a specific core area, do you know this number?
I don't.
Okay. Team, can I just, which is fine, Kristen. Again, the boxing gloves are out. There's no right or wrong, right?
And I thought we were similar.
I think we're similar because we're just like we've got our conviction in what our passion of what we do. And you know me, and Kristen knows me very, very well. There's no right or wrong, guys. There really isn't. It's what works for you. I've seen so many agents do so many different things, but that's the beauty about our industry. You can actually do what you love best, find your groove, and write your own ticket. I think that's extraordinary. We're not all the same. The fundamentals need to be the same. And I guarantee you, when you look at the hashtag principles, there's consistency there. There's a clear message. It's over and over. There's still the grind. Yeah. It's not easier. It's still a grind. There's still a grind,
but we have fun.
Yeah, you have fun because you're in your groove. Yeah. Because I can guarantee you, Kristen, if I told you the only way to be successful is you got to make 100 phone calls a day, you'd probably go, yeah, not for me. No matter how much money you make, 100 phone calls.
I can remember when Jax and I we were at the eView office for 2 days and then got sent home. You know, I remember I was sitting at the kitchen table, she was sitting on the kitchen floor, and we had a whiteboard up with nothing on it. And I remember quite clearly saying to Jax, look, this is either going to work or it's not, right? If we're going to do this, we're going to be ourselves. We're not going to do this the way everybody else has, just because the way it's always been done. And people will either receive it well or not, you know, and honestly, I would have been okay if they didn't, because I'd just pivot to the next thing, you know, but 100% it's got to be what feels aligned with you and who you are.
Yeah.
Making 100%. Calls is not aligned with me and who I am, but that's just me.
Cool. And looking at stats and seeing how many you got called into and how much you've missed out in business and stuff like that. And how you go from 1.2 to 2.5, but no pressure there. Okay. Okay. So let's go back here. So if you know this number, right, you need to know your number, right? Because this tells you how good your prospecting is and your market presence and your marketing, whatever you want to call it. Because you want those, don't you want, if there was 100 properties that got listed in your core service area, don't you want every single one of them to have called you to have the opportunity to pitch? I'm not saying you're going to win everyone, but don't you want that? Absolutely. So this is the game, to get called into everyone. So the question is, if 100 properties were listed in your service area and you got called into 20 to appraise, you have an opportunity ratio of 20%, 1 in 5. So for every 5 vendors that came to market, only one listed, only one you appraised, right? This number does not reflect that you won every listing. It measures those properties you were given the opportunity to win the business. If you're not in there, remember, you can't sell what you haven't listed, and you can't list what you haven't appraised. So you need the opportunity. So the big question is this: why didn't the other 80 call you in? Why didn't they call you in? So you just, there's only probably 3 reasons, right? There's only, your message wasn't compelling enough if they've seen you in the marketplace, or they don't know you existed, they weren't on your database, and no one knows about you. So there's got to be a reason. Now, of course, there's allegiances that sellers have with particular agents. They're not going to call anyone in, and that's what I'm hoping for you guys as well, right? I called it the wipeout program too, the high impact and wipeout program. If you want to wipe out the competition, make sure that you get in the door of every seller before they do, and then list it on the spot. So no, you're not competing with anyone. If you can do that, you've got a phenomenal business, right? Now, the processes and the strategies that we're going to share today, there was an agency I was working with a number of years ago, and we put the whole prospecting strategy in place. They worked it for about 9 months, and this is really important to understand, right? They got called into 79 appraisals using this prospecting strategy, right? Or the basic prospecting strategy, the layered effect of direct mail, door knocking, the whole lot. Of those 79 appraisals, 19 came to market. 19. So got into 19 now, what we call now vendors. I didn't track the other ones that didn't come to market, but I'm sure a lot of those would have come to market. 19. Now, this agent was really successful at prospecting, really successful at lead generation, but 19 no's. And then they gave up, right? They could not convert the listing. They got in the door, but they could not convert the listing. So they weren't working on their listing presentation. So it's really important. We do not have a lead generation challenge, guys. I'm telling you right now, lead generation, you follow the plan, the maths and the law of probability works in your favor. But you need to close the business. You need to be really good at that. And it's not a listing presentation session today, but you should be at 7 out of 10. For every 10 vendors that come to market, you should be at 7 and above, right? But if it's lower than that, you need to be training on listing presentations. So important.
And the biggest thing you can do, Manos, is solve a problem. You're not the old people used to get real estate agents out to tell them what their house was worth. Everyone roughly knows what their house is worth these days. It's data, it's everywhere.
Yep.
So you're there to solve a problem. And if you can do that, that's my 2 bobs worth.
But let's get in the door first.
Yeah.
Right? It starts there. It's the chicken and the egg. We know the answer. What comes first, the chicken or the egg? I'm telling you right now, it's the appraisal comes first. That's it, right? So let's talk about service area and some numbers. In any 10,000 dwellings, home service area, there's going to be approximately 500 sales. There's 11 million residences in Australia, of which about 550,000 transact every single year, from 450 right up to 600,000. So the average is about just under 5%, but let's just say 5%. You should know this. Let's just talk about available GCI. If your average sale price, average GCI per sale is $20,000, there's $10 million of GCI. This is the industry-wide average of GCI per sale, ex-GST. It's 16,500. So it works out to about 18 grand is the average selling fee across Australia. Again, no right or wrong. We have agencies that are closer to the 10 because their average sale price is a lot lower than the medium average. And we do have others that are 40,000 average. Depends on your marketplace, right? Again, there's no right or wrong, but you need to know what it is so you can work out what that GCI available to you. Now, when we talk about service areas, because from a prospecting point of view, what we've learnt, most $1 million agents service a suburb or an area of about 5,000 dwellings. They don't, some start like that, but it is your capacity to actually service 5,000 financially and physically. If you've got 5,000, you need 5,000 to do $1 million. That's, it's very rare that it's going to be less than, less than that number. And of course, we've got to start adding to the database to get you to more money than the $1 million, right? So this is the database. So any questions on service area? All good? Does everyone know their service area statistics?
I'll just say I just looked up now. There's about 7,500 homes in Frankston South. When we did start and we did do a little bit of prospecting, we were servicing about 1,000 of those homes, and we were able to be in the top 3 agents in the suburb just with that 1,000 that we were working with. So you don't need to be working the whole suburb to, So yeah. That's important as well.
Yeah. Kristen, hyper focus initially. If you've got the capacity to be hyper focused on 5,000, i.e. physically and financially, then do it. If you don't, just start at the capacity that you can, right? It's so important, right? Because I don't want people doing this. I drop 5,000 homes once every 3 months instead of dropping 1,000 homes every single week for 3 months. Direct mail as one of the prospecting strategies. And there's obviously a formula to that as well. But okay, let's talk about database. Now, this is a good one, right? 1,000 contacts in your database. But here's the caveat. If you're to call anyone that's on your database, if you call them, is there a 100% chance that they know who you are? Right? Do they know who you are? Because if they don't, it's just another number in your database, right? Like it really is. So when people talk about, I've got thousands of people in your database, I said, okay, just randomly pick one. If you called them, would they know who you are, or would you have to explain who you are? Oh, hi, Kristen. I hope you're well. The last time it's Manos from XYZ Real Estate. We met at an open for inspection 6 months ago, right? And if you have to remind them, they're not on your database. They're not what I call quality, right?
Yeah.
So this is so important. But this is the statistic, right? If you've been able to get someone's contact details through your real estate activities and get them onto your database, I call those people in real estate mode, and they're real estate nomads, right? It's really important to understand the distinction because yes, there's 5% of a service area that turns over, but people in your database have a higher propensity to move. And we know doing the studies about 8 to 12% of the people in your database are going to move over the next 12 to 24 months, right? It is a statistical fact, right? So if you have a great client engagement strategy, and you know my simple one, it's just the anniversary call. If you just do that with a handwritten card once a year, I can almost guarantee you would be in the top 1% of agents because I know 90%, 95% of agents don't do it, even the higher performers. You will definitely be in the top 1 to 5, at least 5% in the industry. So approximately 8 to 12% will come to market. So if you've bulletproofed your client engagement strategy, you'll likely get an 80% call in, right? Well, they call when they're ready to think about selling, you'll get an 80% call in. Of the 80% that call you, right, 80% you'll win because you've had that engagement. They've called you in, a really strong case that you'll win the business. Just so important to understand this. So there's approximately 50 to 75 listings in a contact database of 1,000 people that actually know you, right? Okay. And I challenge anyone to reverse engineer their 2025 results and look at how many people are on their database at the beginning of the year, filter it to the people that you know you, and then work out how many actually came to market. I can almost guarantee it's going to sit at that percentage 50 to 75 listings that you would have won. At least approximately 10% would have come to market. So do that as an exercise. Sorry. Okay.
I won't do that exercise.
No. Okay. So let's just talk about that, Kristen, because I think it's important because you're not a database person.
No.
Okay.
I only found out this week. We actually did have Rita come into our office this week to talk about actually working with our database because we've got a couple of new agents on board. And that was the first time I actually knew how many contacts we had in there. So no, I'm not a big database person, but I do. But again, I'm not against it. It's just hasn't been. It hasn't. When Jax and I started, we got busy really quickly, and so we were just all over the place, and that's just how we've kind of stayed. But it's okay because it's worked for us, but it's not going to work for everyone.
No, your brand, your marketing, your brand awareness, your REA profile has a lot of strength over outbound calls. Yeah. There's no question. Why do you think that is, guys? Why do you think that is?
Trust and connection, and I think when I spoke at BLAC Sold originally, I spoke about having a message in your brand and in your marketing, and solving a problem. Like I said earlier, yeah. You're not solving someone's problem by ringing them and annoying them. That's my philosophy. Like you're actually not solving a problem.
I agree there, Kristen. The people who need to be calling are the ones who are not visible in the marketplace. If you're visible Correct. In the marketplace and you've got for sale boards and you've got sold results and you've got listings and you're doing home open for inspections and you've got your flags out there and they see you running around, right? That is your marketing. That's your billboard out there. So
my philosophy is you've got two types of agents. And I only know this because we went straight to marketing. Most people start as a prospecting agent, which is a lot of labor, not a lot of cost other than your time, but lots and lots of labor. And that's where we would have started had COVID not have happened. But that wouldn't have worked for us in the time that we started. So we went straight to marketing. We sold our house. So that we wouldn't run out of money to spend on marketing. Basically in 2020. So we put everything on BLAC, basically to hope to God that marketing would work without the prospecting. Like I said, most agents.
What percentage of your turnover are you investing in marketing? Put secret homes to the side for now.
Yeah.
How much? So you did 1.3 million last year. How much did you spend in marketing? So we're not talking about direct mail. There's a little bit of just listeds and just solds, but you don't do mass marketing like that.
No.
Billboards, your buses.
Last year, less and less every year is what I will say. Mm-hmm. We've just stopped the bus. So the bus has run for 6 years and we've just stopped it because it's probably lost its buzz a little bit. Although we still, right up until it finished, I had someone that I worked with 20 years ago who was down here on a holiday say, "Oh my God, I just saw you on the back of the bus. How are you?" So marketing is, as Manos always says, it's about omnipresence. It's hard to know your return on investment. I think if I think about it, we probably spend things like REA banners, which sometimes do, and stuff like that, probably 10%.
10%. So about 120 grand, 10 grand a month. Yeah.
Maybe not. Maybe 5 to 10.
Yeah. Look, the rule of thumb is I believe agents should be spending at least 5% of if you want to be an attraction agent and you want those inbound calls, you need to be spending about 5% of your turnover into marketing activities, e.g. direct mail, bus, just being visible in the marketplace, social media, all those sorts of things, and then leverage every single listing and the marketing campaign from every listing. So let's just talk about, obviously, the best return on investment. And look, that's where I'm really big on measuring the return on investment. We do that in our business. I can tell you right now, 2 years ago, we looked at our prospecting activities and we looked at the return on investment and we did a change of direction. It saved us $250,000 in that year. And we got better results by doing it. So I do encourage everyone, and we're going to have a great tool coming out very, very soon. I was hoping to have it ready for today, but the Pipeline Black Salt Digital Hustle Playbook is probably just a couple of weeks away. So I'm super excited about that because it's going to help you in defining your return on investment. But anyway, let's go back to some real statistics. And I'd like everyone, these slides, and obviously the video is going to be available to you, but take a photo of this. I really want you to have a look at this, right? Cold calling, these are just guesstimates, me based talking to every single agent and knowing what each different agent does. Cold calling, there's about 200 phone calls before you get a listing. Letterbox drops, there's at least 2,000 letterbox drops before you get a listing, at least. It's 2,000 plus. What we do know is that if you're working statistically a service area of about 1,500 homes, it takes about 7 weeks, every week though, not once a month, every single week, before that neighborhood actually, a large percentage knows you as an active agent, whether you've listed or sold a property. We know that as a fact. Most agents would list a property in, say, a 2-month period with weekly letterbox drops, 1,500. Most agents never do 1,500 per week for 8 consecutive weeks. I'd say less than 1 in 100 do it. I'm not sure why, because it's a proven fact. You will get, obviously, a return on it. The buyer letter, we know it's 1 in 350, but it has to be a genuine buyer letter. Agent and REA referral sites, right? So local agent finder is about 1 in 3. What we've discovered with realestate.com, it's about 1 in 4 leads that come through these referral sites. Actually, you win, and we'll talk about why you would win that. Website address searches. These are statistics that come from our agents agency website. We have about 200,000 visits to our website on a monthly basis. We collect about 5,000 what we call address searches with the What's My Property Worth. What we've uncovered, it used to be a lot less. It used to be 1 in 6, then 1 in 12. It's about 1 in 18 of those just address searches come to market within a 6 to 24 month period. And it's a really important statistic. And I'm going to go into some statistics a little bit later. For sale by owner, all these for sale by owners that are out there, if you're not chasing them, I encourage you do, because 80% end up using an agent. Buy conversions, it's 1 in 7. And I know, Christian, you've got a great strategy for that now, and you're getting a lot more, obviously, with your secret homes strategy.
Mm-hmm.
Home open invites. Home open invites. If you're doing VIP home open invites, 1 in 4 neighbours that come through your property will be a seller. Okay, and likely that you'll list it. Personal referrals, it's always 1 in 2. I've never seen anyone get 100% of all the referrals they receive, but it's really high. And a big one, guys, right? And I know a lot of agents don't do this, e.g. Kristen, but past client engagement and database nurturing, 2 out of 3. You are going to convert 2 out of 3, 80%, right? So it really, really is important to really strategize on the past client engagement strategy. Okay.
Manos, there's a few messages that have come through regarding local agent finder. I haven't read them, but I saw them pop up. But it is a good segue to that, if you don't mind me sharing my experience.
Let's go. Yeah, 100%.
So Jax and I were on local agent finder for Frankston South for, I don't know, 12 months, maybe 18 months. And what I found was, because we were active in our marketplace, a lot of the times we would go get a local agent finder lead, go to the appraisal, and they were actually looking for us. But they went through the local agent website to communicate with us. Yep. So, you know, when that happens kind of 5 times in a row, you do have to assess what's going on. So what I did was worked out how much we'd paid local agent finder in the year and thought, well, 25, let's say we had 5 that we listed and sold, 25 grand we've paid local agent finder. If I put that 25 grand into marketing, I would have got a lot more, I would have leveraged a lot more than just being subscribed to local agent finder. So we turned it off for us, because I said, we'll turn it off for 3 months and let's see if our inbounds drop. And they didn't. So they were still finding us. And I
100%.
found that the local agent finder, this is part of where Secret Homes was born, actually, because when you call someone who's called through on local agent finder, most of the time they're not expecting your call. It's in the fine print that they're going to be called by 25,000 agents. So you pick up the phone and you call them, and if they happen to answer, they're probably not going to answer because they've probably already spoken to an agent and realized what's happened. If you do happen to catch them, they're pretty pissed off. They just wanted to have a quick browse, so this is, I mean, you can tell I'm passionate about it, but this is the problem, is that we are bombarding people who don't want to be bombarded. And I personally, that didn't sit well with me, so we switched it off. But yeah, it didn't change our business. In fact, it probably has increased our business because we would have put that money into the marketing. And I'll say this, on the flip side, Rachel started with us 18 months ago, had never done sales before in her life, no database. We were just giving her leads. So she was really a beginner. And I'm going to have a bit of a plug here. Rachel's first listing I took her with, and I let her, I just gave to her. I went with her and gave to her, basically, was in Baxter. Well, she's accidentally become the number one agent in Baxter. I think it took her 6 months. It's a small little suburb. She's Rate My Agent and REA's number one agent in Baxter. And we're going to an awards night next week. She's the Victorian Rising Star finalist for Rate My Agent, not just in Baxter, in Victoria. So massive shout out to Rach. But obviously she's at the beginning of her business. So we said,
she has taken on local agent finder leads.
Yes. So she's part of her inbound strategy at the moment is local agent finder. However, because for her, the more opportunities she gets, the more practice she gets, the more boards she gets up, course, But what we're finding now, and Rachel sold 32 properties last year. Mm-hmm. She made just under 400 grand in GCI. So she's now at the point that she's starting to find the same problems that we had with local agent finder. Not only are they what she's actually finding now is she gets 2 inbounds, one from local agent finder and then one from REA. And she has to bloody pay. I have to pay bloody local agent finder.
Yeah. It's all timing, Kristen. So, like if I'm starting real estate today, I'll tell you right now, I'll be registering myself to local agent finder. So this is where the boxing gloves come out, right? So we've got to remember everyone's timing and everyone's journey is different, right? So right now, if you are not in a hashtag real estate brand presence, inbound leads, I'd be taking on those local agent finder leads, right? 100%. Unless you're finding that every single one they were coming to you anyway. Do you know what I mean? So yeah.
But return on investment, Manos, and you've got to keep analysing what's working and what's not. Like you said earlier, you don't just go on local agent finder and stay on it for the rest of your life because you decided to go on it. Like you're constantly assessing what's working, what's not. I said to Rachel, when she gets to consistent 5 to 8 listings on the go, consistently for a few months, we'll switch it off. That's my metric for local agent finder. If you're doing 5, if you've got 5 or 8 you're working on, whether they're pre-market, on-market, whatever, I don't think you need it.
Yeah, 100%. It all depends on, if you don't have any listings, I'd be taking on a local agent finder. If you've got 10, you're holding 10 listings, you're at capacity and you've got a whole bunch of inbounds, I would not be taking on local agent finder leads or any other referral third-party leads.
There is another way, Manos.
Mm-hmm.
It's coming up later, Secret Homes.
Okay. Yeah, well, we'll talk about that.
That's okay. What I'd be implementing before local agent finder.
Yeah. And Andy Thorpe, I love your message. Past client engagement is gold. Did you want to share what you've been doing, Andy, for your client engagement strategy? For you to say it, obviously it's working.
Yeah, I just find past client engagement probably the easiest. Least resistant, friendliest way to do real estate. They know you, they like you. Well, they should like you. They know you, they trust you. So just recently, one of my clients started re-looking for a house. I just set up realestate.com alerts for him, shot him through texts every now and again. This one might suit, this one might work. Great, Andy, can you check over the contract? Yeah, sure, no worries. Bought a house on Saturday, not through us because conjunctions over here are very rare now. But bought a house Saturday night, listed his Sunday morning. Didn't question marketing, didn't question fees. I just said, I'll send you the paperwork on DocuSign, and woke up Sunday morning to a signed authority.
Yeah. Well, congratulations, Andy. Andy Thorpe from T&J Real Estate over in WA, running an amazing organisation. Really well done. It's implementation, isn't it?
And the only things I really did with him, across from when he bought a property from me previously, was Christmas cards and a text message whenever I listed and sold one in his little pocket. He was like, mate, I'm here Thursday night, VIPs, 5 till 6. Great to see if you can make it.
Yeah, these personalised SMSs, Joel Hood, for those people that have been made last month's smashing your 2026 goals, talked about SMSs, an implementation that Tom Panos encouraged him. He's using Tom Panos to motivate the team on a monthly basis. And they've implemented SMSs, guys, and it's changed business. This is a guy personally that's writing 3.6 million in his third year, 3.6 million, and his business now is doing 4.55 million. So the fundamentals work. So thank you so much for sharing. I'm conscious of time, guys.
Just one quick thing there, Manos, on the SMSs. I'll make it real quick, and Lewis in our office commented with that. With the new iOS updates and everything, some people have got it automatically to screen unknown calls. They go straight through the that hold. So I just said to Lewis, mate, just jump on an SMS straight after and get that cut through.
Yeah, 100%. SMS is the cut through. We're all too busy, so really well done. Okay, as I said, conscious of time, guys. We've got 11 minutes. Thank you so much, Andy. All right, let's move on. The risks of inaction in 2025. I want to talk about these leads, right? So we're talking about leads. So REA leads, 18, we had our AA subscriptions for the whole of 2025. And these are the stats that I'm just sharing as a group. We had 1,825 seller leads through the REA subscriptions. 430 of those have gone to market. That's 1 in 4. I'm pleased to say the majority of our agents did really, really well getting back to those leads. Speed of execution was great and obviously converting. Didn't win all of them, but that's the statistic. So treat it with respect, right? Leads are
REA leads are gold, like they're gold.
Gold, right? So I'm telling you, 430, but don't forget there's another, if I look at those leads, 1,400 still haven't come to market, and there's a high chance that they're going to come on in the next 12 months.
Yeah.
AA websites. We've had 21,096 individual addresses searches through our websites. As I said, we get about 200,000 hits on our websites on a monthly basis. Of those, 1,170 have gone to market in that period. So it's 1 in 18 in less than 12 months, but we know that increases over a 24-month period as well. So we need to be, there is a risk of inaction, right? We need to be following these up, right? Speed is a new currency. We know that from a prospecting point of view. 80% of all third-party referral sites, including REA, are won by the agent who responded first. So measure your return on investment and keep track of your prospecting activities. It's absolutely critical. Speed of execution.
And honor what they've said. So they get asked, do you prefer it to be email, called, or SMS'd? And, you know, if you're going to just hit the phone and call them, you've already annoyed them. You didn't read the room.
Yeah.
So you can, what I do is SMS or email, whatever their preference is, and then ask for a time to call, to talk. Don't call someone who doesn't want to be called, guys.
Yeah.
My advice.
100%. Okay, another stat, right? When buyers resell, 80% do not use the agent they bought off. And here's the other one. How quickly do some buyers resell? 20, 10, 20. The highest I've seen is 50% sell within 12 to 36 months. So Can anyone think of a prospecting strategy around just this concept? Right? I am telling you, right? Guys, every single buyer that buys in your service area, I want you to think if there was 100 sales in your service area last year, right, in your suburb, at least 20 of them are going to come to market 12 months from when they bought the property. Why 12 months? Because principal place of residence, they're not going to pay tax on it. So be mindful of what prospecting, again, get those buyers, and you'll probably, if you've got a great buyer strategy, you'll probably know every single buyer that's bought a property in your service area, get them on your client engagement, because it's just waiting for you. As I said, we don't have a lead generation problem. We have a lead follow-up problem. Okay, I'm not going to spend too much time on the Hustle Playbook, but your Hustle Playbook, if you don't have it, go to the Black Salt website, download it, print it off. It should be your Bible, right? In our session with Tom Panos and Joel Hood on Tuesday, in the business plan, Joel pulled it out, talked about his appraisals in there, the prospecting schedule, those running teams or EBUs. There's also a meeting agenda. So make sure you're using that to keep you on track, and especially on following up your leads and making sure that your prospecting is done. Right.
And Manos, that book comes on holidays with me. It's literally, it's in my backpack, whether I'm going overseas or wherever, that's with me. Because if you're sitting at the airport having a beer waiting for a delayed flight, you open up the book. And I know there's going to be an app soon, which I'm sure a lot of people will use as well, which is going to be phenomenal. But for me, I'm getting old and I love the book. So I'll be probably one of those people that tries to use both. But it comes everywhere with me. And I just shoot off a few texts while I'm sitting there doing nothing, you know?
And that's all you have to do.
Yeah.
And if you do make a call, you hope to get them on their voicemail and say, hey, Kristen, hope you're well, especially with an anniversary call. I say, can you believe you've been there for 5 years? Hope you're loving the property as much as it. No need to call me back.
I've never made an anniversary call in my life.
No need to call me back.
Sorry.
And then follow up with a card. And team, I am big on this, and this is where the gloves come on, and then we'll rip them off. To me, it's your biggest missed opportunity if you're not doing your anniversary calls. I am brutal and blunt when I say this. If you're not doing them and then following up with a handwritten card, it's a total waste of time. You're just going to be in that grind. If you want inbound and getting those referrals, it's the only strategy. It's the only strategy, right? So, okay. And of course, this recency, relevance, and frequency, omnipresent. So we're talking about how do you become that attraction agent? Again, go into the sales framework workbook, detail all this, because a listing, yes, your first number one priority should be to sell it, but it should be leveraged so you can get your next listing, and then your second listing, and then 4 listings, and then 8 listings. It all starts with one listing. And if you treat every listing as your first listing, I guarantee you accelerate. And
this is how we started our business, Manos. Yep. This is you've got to leverage every single opportunity you can to market yourself. So if a vendor doesn't want to pay for a board, pay for it. You will get another listing just off that board. If a vendor doesn't want, just pay for it.
Social media, for example, to me,
100%.
Get the social media out there. Start doing it coming soon. Some of our new agencies that have joined us, the implementation is just so good when I'm seeing the coming soon, and they're taking the Fox and Wood approach, and they're taking the street sign and doing a coming soon. Just take advantage of it. Those vendors that are in real estate mode notice. The other 97% don't. But most people focus on the 97%. Why aren't I getting any interactions? So, well, it's only 3% of the market at any one time is thinking about coming to market. Focus on them, right? So moving forward, okay, let's get to the big one. Another shift in the marketplace. So secret homes, Kristen. So talk to me about what secret homes is, How long has it been operating? What have you found? And if you want me to go to the next slide, the story, or
look, no, that's okay. I guess I'll try and find the easiest way to explain it, because it is Secret Homes is a private matching ecosystem. So it's not one thing. It's Secret Homes is the consumer facing brand. And we've built an engine behind that, which is called My Home Hero, which is the engine, basically. I won't go into too much detail on what that does. That's something we can talk about another time. But it's an ecosystem where homeowners, not sellers, because at this point they're not definite sellers, they're considering selling. Homeowners and buyers can explore possible opportunities without that commitment, or without the fear of going on to Local Agent Finder and knowing that they're going to get 25 million agents call them. So fundamentally what it is a homeowner can upload a home profile, and they will be able to instantly see if there are buyers in our private system that match what they're looking for, basically. And then they can opt in to go to the next step, which is speak to the agent who's the custodian of that area about seeing if there's a match, basically.
Yeah. So it's not it's another twist, or twist is probably not the right descriptive word. It's another edge to the off-market opportunity.
Yeah.
To to obviously attract leads into your business, and of course service those clients that don't want a full-blown marketing campaign.
Well, I'll give you two examples, because there's two ways you can use the system to try and get a match. There's a private way and there's a quiet way, right? And then of course there's always public. This slide says it all. And there is a misunderstanding out there that I'm anti-portals. I'm absolutely not. We're the biggest marketers in town. REA, I'm on REA every day checking to see if I'm number 1, 2, or 3, The misunderstanding is this does not replace public marketing. It's another layer. So one example I'll give you is we had a lady walk into our office probably 3 months ago. Secret Homes had just started, and I'll go back to what it is shortly. She walked into our office and she said, I need to move, but she was petrified. Like she was visually disturbed by the fact that she'd walked into a real estate agency. Anyway, she'd seen one of our secretly sold boards on Picnic Street, which is a street across from where she lives. So I'll go back. I'm going to continue with this story, but I'll go back. She saw a secretly sold board, realized that there is another alternative, and she came into our office crying, saying she needed to move about 5 years ago, but she didn't want to go through the process. This lady was a recluse. She didn't open her blinds. She was very, very unwell. I explained to her how Secret Homes works. She invited me into her home, which was a big deal. We couldn't get photos taken. We couldn't do anything. Emily and I promised her that we would do everything we could with our Secret Homes buyer database and our database to try and sell it without anyone knowing. She's had issues with an ex-husband and all sorts of problems in her life. Anyway, Emily and I sold it that weekend secretly to buyers that we could connect with, and just do it all on the down low. Now, I'm not saying she couldn't have got a better price if she had have gone to market. She might have got a better price. I think we got a good price anyway. The fact is, she couldn't have sold without this process. She would still be sitting in that house with the blinds closed. She's now moved to Queensland, and got away from what was going on. So there's a behavioural shift in the world. It's not just in Frankston South. Globally, people are going through mental health issues. There's a spike in divorce. There's domestic violence. There's a myriad of reasons why people do not want their house or their home on display. People like that are petrified to speak to a real estate agent, because they're then going to get hounded. Are you selling? Are you selling? Are you selling? Are you selling? So for her, the private approach was absolutely perfect. Now, this woman who came into our office very guarded has smothered my team with gifts. She found a ceramic hashtag in a gift shop, and she's bought it in. She's bought in pink cushions. She's so grateful, and that to me is the whole point of this. It's not for everyone. There's definitely a reason why people should go to market. But the other thing is, guys, and everyone who knows our business knows we've always ran a pre-market strategy. I cannot fathom taking someone's house to market without doing some form of market research. You know, no big brand launches a product without testing the market to see if, you know, the brand's going to be received, whether it's a shoe or a pen, you know. So this is a form of pre-market. It's just got a face and a name. But what this now has is a global buyer database, which I'll go into shortly. But for someone who wants to test the market prior to portals, there's now a place to do that with a quiet listing on Secret Homes. If anyone wants more info, I can obviously go into it. That's a rough I guess, explanation. Almost every property. So since we've started our Secret Homes world, where's my stats? Hashtag. We've listed 24 properties using this as a strategy. 12 of those we've sold. Quite a few of them are now on the market. 265K in GCI. But the main thing is, guys, a lot of these, some of those properties listings we would have got anyway, but a lot of them I was the fifth agent in, and I signed them up on the spot.
Yeah, you showed them something different. They felt safe, and you showed them a different angle, a different opportunity, a different way to market. So you're listening to the needs of the client, and the client finally saw something. So
a lot of the time, Manos, they're ready, but they're not ready. They're not emotionally ready. You're not. What I say to them is, you're not signing an authority. That's not the decision to sell. It's the decision to start the process and see what happens.
Yeah. And of those 12 you sold, 12, did they go to full-blown marketing?
Most of them do. I reckon probably 75% do go to market. So it's not about avoiding the market, but I'll give you another interesting statistic. So we did this. We started this in 17th of September was our secret showcase, which is where this all began. When Jax and I went to South Africa in December, we had sold every single listing that we had. Not one property was on REA under hashtag. It's the first time ever. I believe it's because we did the market research and we priced it right when we went online, and our average our average days on market is low because we get it right from the outset. Mm-hmm. We're not quote them low and watch them go type of agents. I'd rather try a little bit higher in this stage. Who am I to say your house isn't worth X?
But you're giving the opportunity to gather market insights so that the vendor can make an informed decision, and obviously from those insights you guide the vendors as well. So
100%. So it started with a. I'll just explain a little bit what it is. I came back from overseas. I went overseas, had a bit of a nervous breakdown about 6 months ago. And what I discovered was my world, it was too noisy. Social media, work, trying to scale a business, all this, everything was noisy. And so I took myself away on my own, and I really practiced the art of being present. And when you are alone, you smell more, you hear more, you see more, you observe more. And when I found I came home, I continued on with that. And so my awareness of behavior was on alert. And that's when I went, hang on, there's something going on here. Open for inspections, buyers are viscerally upset when you ask for their information, and we have to. I say to them, we won't call you if you don't want to be called. Like, I'm going to get a sign for my opens that say, we will not call you unless you want to be called, so that they walk in feeling safe. And guess what? They probably then will want to be called, so...
Reverse psychology, well said, Kristen.
Yeah, and that's what this thing does, guys. This system allows the consumers, buyers and sellers, to opt in, opt out, have some form of choice around how they're going to be communicated with. And blasted marketing, like I had an old lady say, I got one of your emails about a farm that's for sale. She's 90. She doesn't need that. Why are we?
We need to. Yeah, I think we're talking about personalization. So this whole strategy, guys, and your own prospecting strategy should be personalization. I've always said quality over quantity. I rather see people do 25, 25, 25. What I mean by that, 25 quality connections, 25 quality SMSs, and 25 quality outbound handwritten cards than doing 200 over a week rather than doing 250 a day. And as you said, spray marketing, hoping it lands somewhere. I'm just conscious of time, guys. We've just gone over. Guys, this is obviously how to get in touch with obviously Kristen. I mean, everyone just follow them on Insta and the social pages.
I want to say one thing quickly, Manos. So hashtag's this has evolved obviously over the last 4 months, but we're now testing it with another agency brand, Colella, in Cheltenham. So 2 weeks ago, we launched them. When I say launched, they've barely done any activities. They've done a drop in their one DL drop in their area. They've put it on their social media, didn't spend money, just organic. They've handed out the DL and explained what it is it opens, and they've sent an SMS to past buyers. Like none of that is high activity, Well, Lou's got an appraisal. He's had 2 seller leads come in through it, or seller
inquiries.
He's had 2 seller inquiries. He's one of them actually has decided to sell with Daniel McGlashan. So Lou's happy, like all good. He's gone with another AA member, so that's all good. But he has got an appraisal tomorrow, which is worth 1.5 mil.
No pressure, Lou. I believe Lou is on. There's no pressure on you, Lou.
I said, Lou, ring me in the car on the way to the appraisal and I'll tell you what to say. Not that he doesn't know what to do, but when you're talking secret homes, it's very much different language. You're creating safety. It's the opposite of what we're used to doing. So this is not for every agent. This is not for every client, but I can't tell you the amount of positive feedback we've had from buyers, sellers, agents. This will also be a tool for buyers agents. Buyers agents will be able to upload and manage their client briefs and see matches. There's a lot more I could do to explain it, but if Lou lists a 1.5 million, you do the numbers, Manos. That's how much is that in commission? 25
grand, 25 to 30 grand.
Well, job done in week 2.
Yeah, really well done. Guys, can we give it up for Kristen for sharing her time today? For allowing us to have our boxing gloves off to see 2 different perspectives. Again, there's no right or wrong. Just going to finish off by just one plug for us as well, guys. The Live It Up conference is fast approaching. How many days have we got to go, Arthur? Yeah, you're on mute. I think it's about 120 days, something like that. So
it's about 98, Manos, but anyway, all good.
About 98 days. Guys, Black Salt, the Wellness Conference, Ebony and Costa, our younger ones, are heading it.
They're living the life in Greece.
They're living the life. Follow us on socials. Trust me, go to the Black Salt. It looks amazing. 5 days. Love to have we've got about 48 registered to come to the actual conference, but with families, there's over 100 people so far. So the barbecue is going to be huge at our place. If you can make it.
Hey, I've been there. I went to the last one and it was phenomenal. Jax and I are literally like trying to find properties in Crete to buy for one day when we're billionaires.
Yeah, it's a great spot. But for those people who haven't been there, it should be on your bucket list. But love to have you there. Team, can we give another shout out to Kristen?
Well done, Kristen. That was a great session, guys.
Yeah, thank you, Maria.
Just a quick one for our property management seminar that's coming up on the 5th of March as well. Obviously, businesses with PM, independent PM businesses, and also businesses that are running PM as well as sales. you would have gotten some of our emails. We're kicking it off on the 5th of March with a seminar that's going to be really focused on legislation, and that's just for Victoria. But what we're doing with PM now is the vision's a lot bigger than just this first seminar. Obviously, this is where we're going to start, but the value is in what happens after that, in the connection with all of our businesses all over Australia. I can see a lot of referrals coming through from one business to the next. We're going to have a social media private page where you guys can connect. We've got Friday emails coming out every Friday. Now, these emails are more a conversation rather than a blog or us just talking to you guys. So the responses that have been coming back are phenomenal. So please keep an eye out for that, and keep an eye out for the private social group so you can register. I'm very excited about the connections in between directors and PMs. I'm excited about the referrals that are going to happen and add value to the business. We're also going to have some Zoom training sessions, guys, as well throughout the year. Now, you're not going to be hearing from me or Manos, because obviously property management, we really know the business side of things. But when it comes to PM day to day, we're going to have experts coming in. One of our own, Jodie Hings, is going to be very, very, she is one of the most knowledgeable people in PM that I know of. That's part of our group. So she's going to be very active in our socials. So we can go in there, ask questions, and she'll be there to answer those. And if we don't know the answer, we'll find out for you.
I got my invite this morning.
We'll help you. Yeah.
From Jodie.
So she's doing all of that for me. I'm very excited about that. I'm very excited. We've already got some really successful property management businesses around the country. It's just about connecting them all together now. So we're super, super excited about that. So please join in the fun.
That's it. Black Salt's taking it to property management now. Fantastic. Awesome.
Well, it was about time, I think.
Yes.
Hey, from an ex-PM, sometimes you do feel like the long lost cousin. So,
yeah, you do.
But no, I think great work, guys. I think it's an industry that needs a lot of nurturing. They honestly, I don't know how I couldn't do it in this day and age. I don't know how they do it, to be honest.
You've done it for a long time. So I think, you definitely need to be excited about property management. It is a different business, but it's a phenomenal business. You're creating an asset for your business. So I'm passionate about it. So I look forward
to it. I just hate the word legislation.
I know. Every legislation.
And on that note, as soon as you said legislation, everyone just left the building. All right, guys. Any last words?
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Just lastly, I was going to say, it is on legislation. And Manos, you're not invited because you've been spruiking all morning. There's no right and wrong. Well, you're wrong because there is. Come along that day and we'll find out. Yeah. Have a great day, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.
Kristen, thanks a lot. Take care, everyone. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.